All right. We are live. We are live, or I am live. Danny will be in here shortly. I believe he's just taking a shower. Burner's Burner was the first one in here. Bateman, Michael Carter, Raheem Mostert. Who do you like rest of season in order? Nice. A rest of season question rather than a start sit. I'm going to go Bateman for sure rest of season of those guys, and then probably Mostert second, given the snap share he's getting in Miami there. Carter's probably just Brees Hall's handcuff at this point in time, based on what we've kind of seen play out in that Jets backfield so far. Nuke's in here, going to be coming off of suspension in a couple of games. Should I go with Hines tonight? Also need wide receiver 2, running back 2, and a flex. I have Dobbins, Hines, Najee Harris, Judy, Woods, and Hollywood Brown. So, Najee's in a tough matchup, but I'm probably still going with him as the RB2 there. Hollywood Brown's my wide receiver 2 of that option, or of that group of guys there. And then I would probably go Judy over Hines. But I would probably throw Judy in your wide receiver 2 spot because he plays tonight of those options. But yeah, give me Najee, give me Judy, give me Hollywood Brown. So Omar, good evening, boys. How you doing? Or hope y'all are doing. We're doing good. Pick a wide receiver and a flex. Gallup, Dubs, ETN, Hines, Zay Jones. So a lot of Hines questions so far. I have, for those of you guys who are curious and you have Nyheim Hines and you don't know, where he kind of fits in, I have him as my RB 32 this week. I'm expecting them to use, a Phillip Lindsay type, whoever they're going to use in that backfield on some of the early down work. I'm not expecting Nyheim Hines to get some huge workload. So I would still start like Raheem Mostert, Ezekiel Elliott, Rashad Penny, A.J. Brown, Damian Harris, Ramondre Stevenson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, like all these dudes over Nyheim Hines, if you guys were curious. So to answer your question, I'd go probably with the 2 wideouts. Dobbs and Gallup would probably be where I'm at, especially in a full PPR there. Emmy, should I do a trade where I give A.J. Dillon for Dobbins 1-for-1 in full PPR? I'm 1-3 as the second highest scoring team. Rest of the season, it's pretty close between A.J. Dillon and J.K. Dobbins. I'd probably lean J.K. Dobbins, but it is the riskier play. I'd say A.J. Dillon is more of like the safety option because, given that his workload's kind of managed, I don't expect him to get injured. And, J.K. Dobbins coming off the ACL tear and all that kind of stuff. But I do think, health aside, I think J.K. Dobbins has the higher ceiling. Of course, if Aaron Jones gets hurt, then that kind of goes out the window. But I do like J.K. Dobbins a little bit over A.J. Dillon rest of the season. Nyheim Hines, Connor, Jacobs, please and thank you. So I'm going to go, I don't know how many you can start there. If you can only start 1, I would go Jacobs. If you can start 2, I would go Connor and Jacobs and sit Hines. I know it's kind of enticing to play Hines. It's Thursday Night Football. You want to watch somebody play. Jonathan Taylor's out. I think those other 2 options are just much better. I need y'all's opinion on a flex option, full PPR, Jeff Wilson Jr., Ramondre Stevenson, Rashad Bateman, Brandon Ayuk, or Melvin Gordon. So I'm probably leaning with one of the running backs for starters. Jeff Wilson I have as my RB 18 right now. I have Ramondre as RB 21, and I have Melvin Gordon a little bit behind those guys at where is Melvin Gordon in my weekly rankings? He is my RB 25, so I'm probably gonna go Jeff Wilson. Zaddy goated. I trust his workload the most out of those guys, although I do really like Stevenson this week as well. Courtland Sutton or Christian Kirk in half PPR. Oof, that's a tough decision. I'd probably go Sutton there, but I also want to find a way to get Kirk into my lineup if you can. I think he's in a pretty good spot this week. Nyheim Hines or Kareem Hunt in full PPR. They're literally back-to-back in my rankings, but I would slightly lean Kareem Hunt because I think the Browns are in a little bit better of a matchup than what you have with Hines there. And again, I'm not really certain what his role is going to be, but in full PPR, it's kind of interesting. I think I wouldn't blame anybody for going with the kind of like safety volume play of Nyheim Hines. I just think Kareem Hunt's is a lot better option. Gordo, wide receiver 1, CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver 2, DK Metcalf. Who should be my flex? Damian Harris, Deontay Johnson, Rashad Bateman, J.K. Dobbins, Devontae Smith, and Michael Thomas out. Is Michael Thomas officially ruled out yet? I hope not, because I really need him, but it wouldn't shock me if he was officially ruled out, because he probably will be. He hasn't practiced either the last 2 days. Of the options that you have here, Deontay Johnson would be the guy that I would go with, but Devontae Smith and him is kind of close. I like attaching myself to that Eagles offense, but I think I would slightly lean with Deontay Johnson of those options there, Gordo. One more, appreciate it. Should I start Wilson, Goff, or Lawrence full PPR? Now, I don't know which Wilson that is. Is that Russ or is that Zach Wilson? In either circumstance, I will go with Trevor Lawrence, especially in full PPR, of course. He catches those passes. Actually, I don't know. If that's Zach Wilson, he's catching touchdowns out here. That's an extra point. I feel like I should sit Deontay Johnson. What do you think? I mean, I have Deontay Johnson as my wide receiver 27 on the week. So by no means is he like a must play. If you have, Drake London and, Chris Olave and Marquise Brown, like a bunch of guys like ahead of him that are great options, then by all means sit Deontay Johnson. But I still think, you're getting like a guy with wide receiver 1 usage. And Kenny Pickett made this offense look a little better than what Mitch Trubisky has kind of showcased so far. So I don't mind just going with Deontay Johnson of those options there. I don't want to lose my spot at where I'm at, but Corey says with a $5 super chat, appreciate it. Tight end, Komet, Brait, likely, Ali Cox, half PPR, Dynasty, pick 1. I'll take. I know it's disgusting, but I still think Cole Komet is the best of those options. They're all like not great options. If you wanted to go, touchdown hunting, I think Mo Ali Cox is a decent bet for a touchdown, as is Cameron Brait. But I think I'd lean with Cole Komet, even though it's kind of disgusting there, Corey. Age-old question, Russ or Goff? Also, Broncos D tonight or Philly at Arizona? Don't like East Coast going West Coast. Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but I think I would still go with Philadelphia's defense. The Cardinals have this like tendency to start out really slow, and I think the Eagles could really pounce on that. They have a lot of playmakers on the back end, so I'd go with the Eagles defense for sure. As far as the quarterback question, I actually have to look where I have Russell Wilson and Jared Goff, because I think it's quite close between those two guys. I personally would go with Russell Wilson because it doesn't look like we're going to get a ton of passing weapons back for Jared Goff. It looks like Amon-Ra could be out again this week. So I'll just kind of use that as a tiebreaker. Jer also leaves a super chat. Appreciate it. Start 3, Dobbins, Breece Hall, Michael Pittman Jr., Elijah Moore, Dawson Knox, Logan Thomas. So I will go with the first 3 there. J.K. Dobbins, Breece Hall, and Michael Pittman Jr. He said if I start 2 running backs, then I have to start a tight end. Okay, so okay. 1 running back minimum, tight end premium, such a headache decision. Okay, so if you have to start, I would say then sit Dobbins and go with Breece Hall and Michael Pittman, I would say is probably where I'm going. Do you still have to start a tight end or can you go with Elijah Moore instead? But either way, if you have to start a tight end, I would go Breece Hall, Michael Pittman, and Logan Thomas. I think he's got a good matchup this week. And Carson Wentz, shouldn't be quite as bad as he's been the last 2 games. Yadiel, hey guys, 4-0, 10 team. I'd love to see that 4-0. I wish I was 4-0 in some of my leagues. Only leagues I'm 4-0 in are dynasty leagues. I'm not 4-0 in any of the 3 redraft leagues that I'm in, unfortunately. 10 team, half PPR. There's the Ladster.
How you doing?
2, I just lost my spot. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, got offered 2 trades. 1, Damian Pierce and AJ Brown for Deandre Swift and CeeDee Lamb. You're 4-0. I would go with the Swift and CeeDee Lamb side.
100%.
Kind of wait a week or 2 if you need to on Swift.
That's not even really close for me, because I realistically in this piece, like AJ Brown and CeeDee Lamb, especially in a couple of weeks when Dak is back, is going to be really close. Then after that, I mean, Pierce versus Swift rest of the season, I would much rather Swift. So yeah, that's a easy move, especially at 4-0. Get that upside for you for the long term.
Yeah, and I like that. I like that trade better than the second one too, with Pierce and Waddle for JT. I think that's a fine trade as well, but I like the trade better.
Yep. So you got all the super chats, like Corey's, Jared's, and everything? Okay, we actually got
Corey and Jared, unless there's any smaller ones than $5.
There's one from Nigel I'll quickly get to right now. Appreciate that. He says 1 wide receiver, 2 running back, 1 flex. Breece Hall, Damian Harris, Nyheim Hines, CeeDee Lamb, and Mike Evans. This is going to be hauling the 2 wide receivers at the end there.
Yeah, 100% there.
Yep. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Nigel.
1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, 1 flex. So you can start. I'd go probably.
I would
Damian Harris. You go on Nyheim Hines.
I would go with Damian Harris. A really, really easy matchup this week of going up against that Detroit front that realistically has given up points to no matter who's going up against them. I mean, we just saw Rashad Penny absolutely run wild on them. They're a defense that will be exploited by good pure runners, and I think that's what Damian Harris is. I actually have both Ramondre and Damian Harris as like legitimate high-end wide receiver or high-end RB2 for Ramondre and high-end RB3 this week for Damian Harris. I think that's going to be a run shot game for them, especially with Zappy at quarterback.
Yeah, I think that the matchup is just too juicy for the Patriots running back. Same page there. Yadiel also says, also got offered this. I have Lamar. I sent Lamar to get Stafford, Debo, and Olave for
Wait,
Lamar.
what? In a one quarterback league?
Yeah.
Yes. Give me Debo.
Yeah,
Olave
I think
side.
I'm okay doing that. It's just honestly, as much as the depth would really help you out, if this is the same league and it's a 10 team and you're 4-0, I think I might just hold Lamar, to be honest, man.
Man,
In a smaller league format,
I guess, but
the
it
quarterback
gives you.
position is going to be really, really crucial.
I guess,
and
but
Lamar's having a league-winning season.
I guess, but also think of it like this though, because so let's just say you're pocketing Debo and Olave to downgrade from Lamar to Stafford. How much would it be, in your opinion, to go for a guy like Dak? Because like Dak
probably wouldn't be a ton, but if it's the same scoring format, 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, you don't really need the depth, especially if you pull off that trade, where you get like Swift and shit and AJ Brown Swift and CeeDee Lamb. Like I think I would rather just have the superstar in my lineup with Lamar Jackson. As crazy as that sounds, I think it's Lamar is at a point like if we drafted right now, where's Lamar being taken?
Probably late third, early fourth.
I think he goes higher than that, man. I think he'd be like a mid third, early third.
Maybe mid third max. I don't see early third because then you got the guys like like CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, etc. that are just past that range.
Right, but all the running backs are sliding down.
Fair. I mean, like, how many running backs would you take rest of the season to Lamar? Like, I would still probably take the Fournette range.
Yeah, but I have him like RB6. Like, there's not a lot of guys that I would take over Lamar Jackson, even at
Mixon or Lamar
quarterback league. He's just such a huge advantage.
Mixon or Lamar?
I'd take Mixon, but like I have him in my top 7 running backs.
Fair, but I don't think the difference between Debo and Lamar would be crazy. And then you pocket a free Olave and Stafford.
I mean, Stafford isn't worth shit to me. Like I think he's like
pocketing a free Olave.
And Olave in a league format where depth isn't that important, Olave doesn't move the needle enough for me on top of Debo.
He's probably a top 24 type of wide receiver.
He probably is, but in a league where you only start 3 wide receivers maximum, I'm not, super excited about that because I'm assuming if you're 4-0, you probably already have a great starting lineup.
I don't know. I would take this, pocket the free Debo, and then try to trade Olave for Dak.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's just like how I view it personally. We got a member. Appreciate that. A new member from Connor. Means a lot, brother. We also got a super chat here from Jared. We'll get to right now. No, I only have to start a tight end if I start 2 running backs. Start 3: Dobbins, Hall, Pittman, Moore, Knox, Thomas. 1 running back minimum, tight end premium. So you could start 3. I would definitely go with Breece Hall as the running back, and I would go with Pittman and.
I think I already answered this. Oh no, I only have to start a tight end if I start 2 running backs. So yeah, if you start, I would go Breece Hall, Elijah Moore, and Michael Pittman then.
Yeah, agree with that. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, Jer.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we left off.
Trilly Philly, do I start Hines over Pierce? No, you do not. You start Pierce for sure. And
where do you have Pierce this week?
Melvin Gordon? Yes, I would start London over Melvin Gordon as well.
Agreed. So because that RB2 range this week is super interesting, right? So I mean, I have Jamal Williams in my top 12. The usage was just crazy this past week, so I left him there. Aside from that, though, like guys like Ramondre, Khalil Herbert, especially if David Montgomery misses again, Jeff Wilson, Breece Hall, Raheem Mostert.
Breece Hall is my RB11, dude.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about that range.
Yeah.
By the way,
in that range, I have him RB11 because I think he's a top 12 dude.
Yeah, I actually would put him ahead of Jamal Williams, so I agree with that. Where do you have Raheem Mostert this week?
I have Raheem Mostert at 30.
You're way too low on him.
I could be way too low on him. His workload's definitely good. I mean,
really good. And he plays the Jets.
Oh, would you start Melvin Gordon tonight, or would you start Raheem Mostert?
Raheem Mostert. I actually made the decision to leave.
Start over Melvin Gordon. I'm definitely going to move him up a little bit because I do have him too low.
He's currently my number 18.
Would you start Clyde or would you start Raheem Mostert?
Raheem Mostert.
Really, you'd start Raheem Mostert the way Clyde's playing right now?
I have Raheem at 18, Damian Pierce at 19, Clyde at 20.
Yeah, I moved Raheem up to 25. I think I would start him over Melvin Gordon, but I think I would still start, Clyde and Miles Sanders and Ramondre and James Conner above him.
I have James Conner below him. Really, really tough matchup.
Yeah, it's not a great matchup for him for sure.
All right, let's get back to the comments. I was just curious. The other one that feels weird is how high I have fucking Nick Chubb this week. Like, I don't want to have Chubb high, but the running back landscape is so gross I have to.
Yeah, facts. Leonardo, yes, sir. Let's go. Flex Hines or Gabe Davis. I'll take Gabe Davis, assuming he's supposed to be, practicing and stuff, right? He should be back on the field, I'd imagine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just give me Gabe Davis there, Alex. Who do y'all got winning today? I actually have a bet on the under.
Broncos.
So I don't really care who wins. I bet on the under when it was 43, and it's moved down since then to 41.5. So I'm feeling okay about that bet so far for sure. But if I had to pick a winner, I think the Broncos will just squeak it out. Like, I don't think it'll be like a blowout necessarily. I think it'll be a close, disgusting, 17-10 win for the Broncos or something.
I agree with that. 17-13 makes a lot of sense as well. We got a couple of super chats I'll quickly get to as well. $2 from Alex. He says, for flex, Hollywood, Bateman, London, Judy, or Pickens. If you can only start one, I think I would lean Hollywood here, but it's pretty close between him and London.
Yeah, I would go Hollywood as well.
Appreciate the super chat, Alex. Got another one here from Jer. Bush, great call last week with Gino over Zach W. Yeah, let's go. That ended up paying off. Funny last minute, like weird quarterback decisions last week. So I mentioned it to you off camera, but for those of you listening, there's 91 people in here, right? I had Trevor Lawrence in all week. I was going to stream him against the Eagles. He's been playing well. That offense is looking good. As soon as I heard that there was weather problems going into that game, I actually made the key switch that ended up winning me my matchup. I put Trevor Lawrence on my bench and I picked up Jared Goff, and Jared Goff scored me 35 points. So,
stud, man.
Yeah, man, he's actually good this year, and I don't know why.
I have like a best ball team that I stacked up that game somehow.
Jesus.
Like, I had a best ball team that I had Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Monroe St. Brown. I guess he didn't play, but like I did have him in the stack. Jared Goff and Jamal Williams. It was like a weird like paw of lion stack, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, for real. I got a super chat here from Arnie. He says, need help, Hines, Mostert, or Dobbins. This is Mostert pretty easily for me.
I have Dobbins, the highest out of these guys.
I will bet you that right now.
All right, let's do it.
Bet.
All right. J.K. Dobbins against the Cincinnati Bengals. That the Baltimore. You know what's weird is that the Ravens owned the Bengals in previous years, and then last year the Bengals owned the Ravens. So it's kind of like an interesting dynamic because there's like been games where Lamar just used to go off against the Bengals, and then Jamar Chase dropped like 500 yards. It feels like on the Ravens last year in the two games that they played. So pretty interesting there.
Got another super chat here quickly. Should I drop Stafford for T-Law or Gino? T-Law for me.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, 100%. Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence looks like he can be a
Stafford's a fucking liability for fantasy right now. I'm not starting him. Like, I would start a bunch of like options that I never thought I would say this like preseason. I would start Trevor Lawrence over Stafford. I'd start Carson Wentz over Stafford. I'd start.
I would start a broken
Geno Smith, Zach Wilson. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not starting Matthew Stafford.
I would start a broken thumb Dak right now over Stafford. Yeah. All jokes aside, though, Bush, I got this isn't actually the line that's actually set, but over under Matthew Stafford throwing 1.5 picks this week.
Yeah, I could definitely see him throwing a couple picks against the Cowboys front. The Rams' offensive line's a fucking mess, dude. They're gonna have their hands full with the Cowboys front for sure.
So I follow like a bunch of like Cowboys beat reporters and Cowboys like insiders and stuff, and they're like, bro, like all Dan Quinn is gonna do is line up Micah Parsons across from Joseph Noteboom, who, by the way, just gave up himself 8 pressures on Monday Night Football to Nick Bosa.
Yeah,
like they're like Micah Parsons might get double-digit pressures in this game, and if Michael Parsons gets
Nick Bosa's playing like depoy right now, so I don't know. Like, I mean,
them two are the top.
They're leading the odds, I believe, between the two of them. So
which makes sense. They're both so fucking good, and like Nick Bosa, it's so funny because like he doesn't got like the athleticism of like a Parsons or a Garrett, but man, like he is so easily in that top tier of like defensive players period in the league. I'd say there's like 5 total like defensive players that are just like a tier above everyone else. So you got like Ramsey in the secondary, Aaron Donald on the D line, and then from the edge rusher perspective, I mean, I guess you put 6 because you got Bosa, Garrett, Watt, and Parsons. Like that's like your top echelon of defensive players, and people don't like put Bosa's name in that mix too often, but they definitely should because he's that good.
Yeah. Give Jahan Dotson and Javonte for Drake. I think I would rather have Drake London than both of those guys combined.
That's
close, bro. Like that's
so you got to go with the appreciating asset there.
What's up?
You got to go with the appreciability of Drake there. I agree.
Yeah, like I think at minimum you just take the profit with Drake London because as good as Jahan Dotson has looked so far, like his ceiling in Dynasty, no matter what he really does the rest of his rookie season, is probably like wide receiver 25. Like people just didn't believe in him as a prospect. He's not even gonna go that high in Dynasty rankings. Javonte Williams is always going to have now this injury holding against him to hold his value down to like where J.K. Dobbins has been the last couple of years. And Drake London's his ceiling is wide receiver 3 in Dynasty, and you can get an absolute, king's ransom for him if he has an offensive rookie of the year type of season this year.
I agree with that. So now back on you for chat.
Yeah. Oof. I asked you guys this earlier, but he wouldn't do it. So I offered Jamar and Bateman for Breece, Waddle, and Higbee. Do you think it's worth it? Yeah, I think it is.
Well,
Waddle Chase is a lot closer of a discussion than it should be, and Breece all over the rest of the package, and you also get a free Higbee out of that.
Call me crazy. I would still take Jamar, but like Jamar versus Waddle, like
it's not far off. It's not a far off discussion. We're talking like a mid wide receiver 1 versus a back end wide receiver 1.
So my cousin's messaging me.
No worries. Thoughts on this trade? I just made 1 quarterback dynasty Lazard for Michael Thomas and a 3rd. Yeah, give me fucking Michael Thomas. Jesus.
Yeah, pretty easily there. We got a super sticker from Neil. Appreciate that. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it. I'll keep aware back down here.
Yeah, for sure. Cody says, what would you sell Melvin Gordon for in Dynasty now? I would hope to get any kind of second round draft capital. If somebody sends you a 2023 second or a 2024 second, I think that's appropriate to move off of Melvin Gordon for me. Especially if you're a rebuilding team and he's on your roster. If you can get a second round pick, I would say that is definitely easy. If profit. No one wants to give up their 2023 second aim for their 2024.
Easy profit for sure. Next question.
Thanks for doing this again.
Anytime.
Flexing Pittman Jr. or Jamal Williams. I'm gonna go Pittman.
I'm gonna go Pittman as well. We got a couple supers here. So Neil gave the super sticker. He actually sent another super chat, so I appreciate that. He says, "Is it nuts to start Dubs over Sutton? I have Sutton pretty significantly higher. Like, listen, I'll tell you right now. I talked about it on the wide receiver start sit show, but when it comes to Courtland Sutton, like I'm okay with taking a partial out right now. Like he's commanding an alpha level target share. He's on a 27% target share this year. Again, I will see how that kind of develops as Judy keeps on getting healthier, but." As of right now, Sutton's been the wide receiver 1 on that Broncos offense, and he should be treated like the Broncos wide receiver 1 right now, given what we've seen in these first few weeks. So with that, you're getting maybe a top 2 wide receiver in Green Bay. I think we can comfortably say a top 2 receiver, but it's still very early, still very unproven with Dubs versus what we've known to be the clear-cut Broncos wide receiver 1, who's actually been one of the better wide receivers in the NFL this year with Sutton.
Yeah, and we'll take that one on the chin. When we were on Judy preseason, it was more about a price difference, right? Because on Underdog, Sutton was like clearly the wide receiver 1 in price. He was like a mid 3rd round pick versus like a 5th round pick. Once you got to like more home league settings, it was a lot closer in terms of the ADP between those two guys. But yeah, I definitely wish I got myself a little bit more Courtland Sutton. I did get him in our Tone Setters Dynasty League, and he's definitely paying off for me so far.
For sure. Got a couple supers here. I'll get to $4.99 from Raw. Appreciate that. He says 12 team PPR, half PPR. Oh, I guess half PPR. You put the 0.5 after. Sanders for Pittman. I get Pittman. Give me Pittman very, very easily there, Raw. That's free cash, especially in your running back situation. You have CMC and Fournette as your main like bell cow type of backs with Etienne and Henderson for upside. Go sell high on Sanders right now.
That's an easy trade to make.
Lockett. Do not trade away Drake London for Tyler Lockett right now, King.
Yeah, do not do that.
$5 super chat from Jason. He says, I'm full tank dynasty, got sent Chase Lance in a 2023 1 for Kyler Murray and CD. Thoughts? So
I think I would do this.
I think I want the Kyler side.
It's close, man, because Lance is like the hinging point of this trade. It really Lance has a lot more risk behind him now because of the injury. To me, is Lance in a 2023 1 enough for CD? Because I think Lamar and Kyler is a really close discussion, to be honest.
Lance in a 20.
Does the Lance in the 2023 first outweigh CD enough that Chase is close enough to Kyler that you kind of cancel that out?
Is there any way you can get like a 2 on top of this? Because like this feels like break even. I would want like at least a little bit of an overpay if you're in that full tank mode. Like even if it's a 2, like that's. Because, I mean, Lance in a 1, you probably have to say is about CD. But I do think, like, the discrepancy between Kyler and Chase, because he's a quarterback, would be about a 2. So I would definitely see if you can try. Like, if you can get a 2 on top of your side, I would do that in a heartbeat. But because there's no 2 as well, I feel like it's like a break-even type of deal, which at that point, I kind of just want to keep the top assets in the deal. Because, I mean, with Lance, there's a lot of volatility in terms of his price tag. Like if he goes in next year and he's not looking the same, maybe he doesn't have that same mobility, we're looking at maybe a below average passing quarterback.
Well, it also depends where that first is too, right? Because if that's a late first, then I think I do like the Kyler side. But if you can tell me there's a chance that first is, maybe the guy's like 1 and 3 right now, then maybe I take the pick side of things, hoping that's like a top 5 pick.
That's a good question though, Jason. Appreciate the discussion. He also says that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, if you could try to get a 2, that's how I would do it. Even if you have to throw a 3 in to get like say you can get a mid 2 and you throw in, your fucking 2023 or 2024 third round pick, like I'd be fine doing that. But I just want that extra little bit because I'm also that's how I am.
Oh, dude, you want to know some hilarious shit? One of the guys in my Bitcoin league is selling his whole team right now in the chat, and I have his first round. He's 0-4. He has like Stafford, like Derrick Henry, like all these like aging assets. And I have his first round pick and he's trying to get it back for me. I'm like, I ain't fucking giving you your first round pick back. Yeah, like I have 5 ones in this league. I have like a solid foundation of Jefferson and Herbert and Watson and Drake London and all these dudes. And I'm prepared to have this is my best shot at a Bijan share this year because all my other leagues, my tanking teams are overperforming right now, and I'm in like 9th place, and it's annoying me.
I want to know your thoughts on this, by the way. Because Lance got brought up, so I do have to bring up Lance now because it's tradition on this channel. But I actually did buy Trey Lance in that league that I'm tanking in, right? The league that I have like 20 first/second round picks in the next 2 years. Yep. So with Ian, I basically have Ron's first round pick, which is probably going to be in the 9 to 12 range. He's a contender. He's looking to win it all right now. So I ended up getting Ian. His first round picks are Ron, so like a late first 9 to 12. A late second round pick, another guy who's in that competing type of area. For Trey Lance, a mid projected 3rd and a mid projected 4th. So
you got Lance for a first and a second, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid deal. I offered a guy in one of my leagues a late first and an early second, and he said no for Lance.
Wow. Yeah, damn. Yeah. That's it's tough to actually pin down a value on him right now.
Some people just want to hold on to the guy that they had with Trey Lance, who was worth multiple firsts before the season started. So yeah, it definitely makes some sense. It's all about league market, as we always talk about. So high upside, low risk. Ask the defense
Broncos.
question: Broncos or Cowboys? Yeah, give me Dallas. The fucking Rams front's a mess.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted the Broncos against the Colts because the Colts.
Oh, I'm taking the Cowboys defense there.
Really?
I don't know how I'm standing your defense harder than you, but I think your defense is one of the best in the league, and the Rams are a complete fucking dumpster fire.
I love our defense, but I just looking from an actual Vegas perspective, Broncos are 3-point home favorites. The Cowboys are 5-point road underdogs.
They're dogs.
Yeah, 5 points.
Oh my god, I got to bet on them. Jesus.
Yeah. 5-point road underdogs. It's pretty
I'm betting
gross
on them, dude. Holy shit, that's fucking free.
I think the over/under set at 43 as well. So that's easy cash.
Yeah,
that game's gonna be 17-13.
I actually have a bet on the Broncos scoring a defensive touchdown tonight, though.
Actually,
it's a plus 800 bet. I just feel like Matt Ryan's kind of a dumpster fire right now. I'm like, I think I can get a Pat Surtain pick 6 or something.
Definitely makes sense.
And then his other part of his question, give me.
I'll
take Ramondre
Ramondre easily for me. The matchup difference is just so
it's
pristine in my opinion.
Right? So the workload favors the guy that gets the touchdown opportunity, and Ramondre does split that with Damian Harris, so that makes it a little closer.
For reference, I have Ramondre at 15, James Conner at 23 this week.
I have him at 20 and 21, and especially in a non-PPR, it's pretty close. If it was PPR, I would say then Ramondre is a lot further apart from me there.
Fair. We got a super chat here from Nigel quickly. Do not start Nyheim Hines over CeeDee Lamb. We're not even sure if Nyheim Hines is going to get any of the early down work, especially against a tough matchup.
I think there's a chance that Nyheim Hines could have a good game this week, but I can't start him over solidified options. I think he's a guy that you may have lucked into if you were dealing, with some injuries or whatever, but I wouldn't be just starting him over your studs like CeeDee Lamb.
Yep, agree with you. We have where we left off.
Yep. Do you think Najee has a chance to get more receptions with Pickett playing now? I don't know. They're both I would say the two quarterbacks were about equally as mobile as each other. It really, I don't think so because Najee Harris is not running the same level of route participation that he was running last year. He's more in the 40-50% range of the team's routes, and they have all the pass catching weapons that they do: Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, and George Pickens, and Chase Claypool. I think gone are the days of Najee Harris leading the NFL in receptions like he did last year. He's just not running the routes at this point, and he's a solid receiver, but he's not a dynamic enough receiver to be able to like command more volume based on his play. He's been pretty inefficient so far. So I think the best thing that can happen to Najee is that his touchdown opportunity goes up if Kenny Pickett is better than what Mitch Trubisky has shown in the first couple of weeks. And it's pretty easy for Kenny Pickett to be better than 5.3 yards per attempt, which is what Mitch Trubisky was doing. So where does Gordon and Hines sit in your rankings? So to me, I have Melvin Gordon as my RB 26 on the week. I have Raheem Mostert, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, J.K. Dobbins, Miles Sanders, James Conner, Ramondre Stevenson immediately ahead of him, with Damian Harris, A.J. Dillon, Rashad Penny, Ezekiel Elliott right behind him. And then Nyheim Hines is at RB 32. The only guys like the type of options I'd be starting Nyheim Hines over. Tyler Algier, Tony Pollard, Antonio Gibson, Rashad.
The Algier one is one's kind of close. Because
I think as PPR, you could make the argument for Nyheim Hines for sure.
Well, I was gonna say, because with Tyler Algier, like the common consensus, if you will, is going to be like, well, he's going to be a between the tackles runner because that's what he was over at BYU, but he's actually dominated third down usage in terms of the Falcons. So if they're playing a tough front, they're not going to be able to get that ground game.
I wouldn't call us a tough front right now. We're not playing like it.
It's fair. I mean, compared to the Falcons, to be fair. I mean, the Falcons' run offense is actually
they've been running pretty well, man. Like I don't think we're going to be just shutting the run down like typical Tampa Bay Buccaneers fashion. Like we're like a like a league average run defense right now. We're not.
You're suffering any injuries in the middle?
Yeah, Akeem Hicks.
Oh, he's out. Damn.
Yeah, and Devin White can't fucking tackle right now. So, and Vea's not playing like Vea should be playing.
Man, I have to. Maybe that's just my own bias because I'm starting Algier in the league, but I actually do think he's going to be relatively successful. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be like an 8 for 33 on the ground, but he might have like 6 catches for like 47 yards.
Well, he can punch one in too, for sure.
Right? Like that's the type of day I see from him. I just don't think Hines is going to get this magical workload over.
No, I don't either, but I think I would lean with Hines if it was any like in PPR. I think he's going to get a lot of catches at least. Pick one running back and one flex. Full PPR, Deontay, Olave, Curtis Samuel, Damian Pierce, Ramondre Stevenson, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Okay, these guys are like relatively all in like the same territory, I would say. I think knowing that Thomas is probably going to be out again, I think that Olave's got to be the flex for me.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at on the receivers.
Is Thomas out?
I believe the guy I have rated the highest is Damian Pierce out of these guys.
Stevenson.
Yeah, I have Pierce ahead of Stevenson.
I'll bet you on that.
And Wilson.
I bet you're Ramondre versus Pierce.
Yeah, we can do that. Again, a full PPR gives you some lenience towards Stevenson. He's the most involved pass catcher of those running backs that you have listed there. But I would go Pierce, but Stevenson's a fine option as well.
By the way, Brock, yeah, you are right. The Falcons run scheme, for what it's worth, has actually been really good. I was more so just touting it up because I know the Bucs run defense has been good historically. But if Bush is saying they haven't been that good this year, then
Isaiah Pacheco and fucking Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran it down our throats. And
that's fair.
Mark Ingram ran it down our throat against New Orleans, and the Packers running backs had their way with us too. Like we just haven't been that good against the run.
Got another super chat here quick.
No, I would not play Mo Alley Cox tonight, Corey.
Hines, Algier, Herbert, or Singletary. Assuming David Montgomery's out again, I'm gonna go with Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, I have Herbert the highest of those guys. I have Singletary as like RB 17, and he was like RB 28 in consensus for some reason.
You have him 17, eh?
Yeah, dude, he has like a fucking 80% snap share and a 14-point favorite.
That's fair. I have him. I did just raise him. I got him at 19. I think I would still take Mostert over him this week.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of Mostert.
That's fair.
Yeah. In order: Hollywood, AJ Dillon, Bateman, Elijah Moore.
In that order.
Yeah, you got it in that order, right? That's the way I would order it.
Yep, agreed.
I lost Swift, and now Javonte had no running backs and managed to strike trades to get Dalvin Cook and Hines for tonight. Oof. Yeah, I guess you're 1-3. I mean, you can't really. There's not really much you can do at that point. You can't really be like, oh, I'll just wait for Swift to come back and whatever. But yeah, I mean, Dalvin Cook is. I have Dalvin Cook, and I just don't. I think it was a stupid pick on my part. I knew he was going to be a bad pick this year. He's literally in my number one bust on the season, and I drafted him because he felt to be of value, and I'm literally never going to forgive myself for it.
Well, it's going to be a nice lesson to learn video, by the way. But
to be fair, it's not like I'm going to be taking it on the chin with Dalvin Cook. It's the only league I drafted him in. I have like no shares of him on Underdog. I have like no shares of him in any other league.
The reason why I mentioned it with Cook is I still remember when we initially like did our bus and stuff, like we were talking about our video, and I said like, yo, like this downward trajectory, this like this data that we're seeing from Cook, it's like really reminding me of 2020 Ezekiel Elliott, and it's just so funny now that like current year 2022 Ezekiel Elliott actually has a higher PFF rushing grade than Dalvin Cook.
I mean, Dalvin has not looked good. They're actually like their offense would be
atrocious.
better if Madison was their full-time starter.
Madison is ranked as a top 10 PFF rusher right
He's
now.
actually a much better running back than Dalvin Cook from what I've seen so far this year.
And I guess like you're watching a lot of Dalvin because you have both
And I'm
Cook
tilting
and Madison,
over every second of Dalvin's carries. Every Dalvin carry I tilt because he gets hit in the backfield or can't make anybody miss. Like he has like a 20% tackles avoided per attempt, which is like absolutely awful for his career standards, like 50%. Like he's dominant,
usually nasty,
evaded tackles per attempt type of running back, and he literally has been terrible this year. So
I got a question for you, Bush.
What's up?
Obviously, we just did our rest of season ranks, but like I'm still like finagling with them every now and like once we get more information.
If you're about to ask me Breece Hall or Dalvin Cook, I would take Breece Hall, no questions asked.
I'm getting a little lower, and this might gross you out. Can you guess who I'm gonna say?
Damian Pierce?
No. Still a 3 down back and good
3 down
offense.
back. James Conner.
Basically, exactly like he's been playing low key the past couple of weeks. Exactly what we expected Dalvin Cook to be coming into the year.
Devin Singletary.
No,
that'd be funny.
Josh Jacobs.
Oh, I would rather have Josh Jacobs than Dalvin Cook, 100%.
Dude, Josh Jacobs has low-key been getting an elite workload recently, and nobody's talking about it.
Cook is getting an elite workload. He just not
stinks.
Zeke. He's not efficient at all.
He's literally Zeke, bro. He's literally Zeke now, and it's so tough to watch because of how good he was in his prime. But we said the same fucking thing about Ezekiel in 2020, and that's why people drafted him in the top 5 yet again in 2020, including 2021, including myself.
Yeah, I see. I wish I wasn't trying to like outsmart my league mates so hard because I figured they were like once Dalvin Cook, had a good game, they'd be like, oh, this is the same old Dalvin Cook because they all listened to me all offseason talk about how Dalvin Cook was going to stink. But I figured once they saw Dalvin Cook play well, they would throw all that out the window and I could sell him high. But unfortunately, Dalvin Cook has not had a single good game, so that hasn't been able to happen. Yeah, so
it's kind of tough to sell him high when he's not actually putting up a high week.
Yeah, literally. Do you prefer James Robinson or J.K. Dobbins rest of season?
Robinson.
Yeah, I'll take Robinson, but I do like Dobbins as well. Gabe Davis, Romeo Dobbs, Devontae Smith.
Gabe.
I'll take Gabe slightly, but I have Smith like right near him. I'm pretty sure.
That's exactly how I am.
A little higher right now.
Let me check actually too, because Devontae Smith I have at 31 and Gabe Davis
I have at 30. I think I would start Smith.
I have Smith at 31, Davis at 32, so I would start Smith as well. By the way, these like NFL HD play bullshit like kick rocks, pal.
Yeah. What moves do you think I should make? I lost Javonte. You and me both, brother. Murray, McCaffrey, Mostert, AJ Brown, Hollywood, Waller, Josh Reynolds, benches, Kenneth Walker, Rashad White, Njoku, Boyd, Michael Carter. I mean, your team looks pretty well balanced to me. You got like a nice hero RB going with Christian McCaffrey. You're a little like light on depth, I would say. You're probably going to be starting like Boyd in your flex right now with maybe Josh Reynolds again. You throw him into your flex, but I would just continue working the waiver wire. Hopefully, you can get a more solidified piece, or maybe Rashad White or Kenneth Walker or Michael Carter can turn that into that for you.
Did we get to this this Alex comment? Because Hines out. Yeah, Herbert. Okay,
we did. We said Herbert.
Perfect.
Jess, flex standard scoring, Waddle or Boone. Easily Jalen Waddle, not close. Me after ripping on the poverty calls all week, saying I'm done with them just to watch every snap of this game. Yeah, I feel that.
Wait. Hey, fun fact about the Colts, they cost me about fucking $600, so that was fun. All they needed to do was cover the spread and said they absolutely pissing shit down their leg.
I mean, to be fair, they did also get shut out by the Jags, so you should have seen that one coming.
Fair.
At one CMC, Kamara, Khalil, Herbert. Oof.
Herbert.
Probably Khalil, but if Kamara is limited in any way, I'll sit him.
I can't overthink it there. Juan, trade Waddle for Bateman Najee. Need a running back too bad. Oh. I don't think I would.
No, don't do that. Give me Jalen Waddle. I don't care if you need a running back too.
Why does that feel so gross, man?
Because it is gross, and you shouldn't do it. Don't do that.
Yeah.
If you need a running back too, trade a bench piece for a running back two. Go get a more replacement level production running back too. Najee's got too much name cachet.
Hey, I saw a meme on Twitter today. So it's basically, the Peter Parker meme where he's like looking into something and then he like unfogs his glasses and then looks again. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
So it showed Peter looking like confused, and it was a picture of Najee Harris, and then he cleans his glasses and looks again, and it just shows Trent Richardson.
Dude, Najee Harris was just a of David Montgomery, and none of us saw it.
Dude, for real.
David Montgomery's workload might have been a little better, actually.
Real.
Trade Lazard and Everett for Gordon and Njoku, full PPR.
Gordon and Njoku.
Yeah, give me Gordon and Njoku easily there. I would rather have Njoku than Everett and Gordon.
Would you?
That's
awesome.
That's debatable. They're
dude,
probably close.
Dude, you're actually the Gerald Everett hater, eh?
I don't believe Gerald Everett's good, to be honest.
Good,
he's
bro.
not been good his entire career, and now he's like suddenly
He's
been
really good this year, bro. He's been really good. Maybe I'm only saying that because
I think
have him in my
the
home
difference
league.
between Gordon and Lazard is more than enough to make that up.
I have him in my home league. Oddly enough, in terms of this, I have Everett and Njoku on my home league. So like I'm down for whichever of them being better than each other.
Yeah.
But Everett's low-key the tight end 6 in fantasy right now.
Yeah, he is. Dude, can I ask why everybody's like so excited about Allen Lazard? Like he had a 100-yard game, I suppose,
stinky.
but like he's not
Dude,
good.
fucking Dubs got more usage than him.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people are ready to just like anoint him like a wide receiver 3 rest of the season. Like Jesus Christ. Elijah Moore or Najee this week for half PPR. I'll still take Najee there, Yov. Should I flex Michael Pittman or Jamal Williams full PPR? Give me Pittman there.
Got a super chat here from Scotty. Appreciate that. He says, thoughts, traded Ayuk for AJ Dillon to replace Javonte in my lineup. My lineup is Hurts, Lamb, St. Brown, Dubs, Dillon, Stevenson, Freiermuth, and ETN. Yeah, I don't mind making that move. I mean, Dillon and Ayuk for the most part.
I would rather have Dillon over Ayuk like at face value, let alone, the fact that you needed another running back to replace Javonte.
Yeah, agreed. It's on you now. Appreciate the super chat, by the way, there, Scotty. We start Olave over Hollywood. I would have a Hollywood slightly high. Oh, actually, you know what? I might have fucking a lot. I have fucking Marquise at 17, Olave at 19. So they're extremely close. I will say, if Michael Thomas does miss, give me Olave over Marquise.
I think he's going to. I kind of ranked him as if he was gonna.
Okay, I ranked him at 22, hoping he would because I have him in my home league. So that would suck if he doesn't play.
Yeah. Pittman or a healthy ARSB. I don't know if we're getting a healthy ARSB, unfortunately, this week. So I think I'm just going to start Pittman.
Agreed.
Start 2, Pittman, Deontay, Drake London. I'm sitting Deontay Johnson there. I do be in class. Bush, I traded Devontae Smith I traded CH and Devontae Smith for Najee Harris and DeAndre Hopkins. W or L? I mean, if you're ahead, like you're, like a 3-1, 4-0 team, I'd rather have Hopkins rest of the season over Devontae Smith, and I would rather
give me
have
Najee side.
CH, so yeah, I'll take the Najee side there slightly.
Yeah.
This game's gonna be a stinker. I low key, I feel like everybody's expecting it to be bad, so it might actually be kind of entertaining. I don't know why.
Bush, have you seen my lineup in our listener league, bro? It's like the most random thing of all time, but it's actually good.
Yeah, I gotta move. Courtland Sutton out of my flex, I think.
Dude, fucking in this league, bro, I literally have so I swear I started hero running back, and now for some reason my running backs are my strength of my team. Oh no, I went bimodal, that's why. I have Connor, Kamara, Stevenson, Singletary in my like running back flexes, and I got Diggs, Marquise, and CeeDee Lamb as my 3 wide receivers with Hurts and Zach Ertz.
Not bad.
Here, on you now.
Lindsey's a very sneaky deep play. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to mess with him. Just got an edit to my trade proposal. He wants T. Higgins and Khalil Herbert for Keenan Allen and Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
I mean, you got to be 4-0 to make this trade, I think.
I think you'd be 3-1.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't want to get behind the 8 ball, and you're going to probably be without Keenan Allen for like 2 games, and Jonathan Taylor maybe for 1 or 2 games too. So if you can handle losing a game or 2, I'm cool making this trade. But otherwise, I probably hold if you're like 2-2 or worse. Hines or Pollard. Give me Hines slightly. I think I have him a little higher.
Yeah, I do.
Y'all go check out the new TikTok. Ban that guy. Yeah, check out the new TikTok. Spicy got that up earlier today. It's suck for Stroud season. Yeah, dude, the Colts are really about to just luck into another quarterback.
I know, right?
Anytime you guys need a quarterback, it's like Johnny on the spot with like a decent quarterback class and a high draft pick.
By the way, Bush, fucking in my one league, I was running a hero running back with Javonte, got Ramondre later in my draft, so my team was going to be so set. Lose Javonte, now I have to start fucking Alex Madison at 2 or RB2 this week.
That's not bad. I
Oh,
actually made
God.
a trade in my best ball dynasty league. I traded
Yeah.
away Chris Godwin, Ramondre Stevenson, and Jimmy Garoppolo for a 2024 first and a 2023 second.
That's a dub.
It's solid, yeah. Like I didn't get perfect value, I would say, but I
That's a
wanted
great
to. I'm
trade.
trying to tank my pick. I'm in 11th place right now, and the guy below me has like a really bad team also. And I'm like, I need the first pick, so I'm going to sell off some guys, aim for 2024 capital.
I respect it.
How impactful is it starting two guys from the same team? I have Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. I also have London. Like to acquire some pits, but it seems like too many team stacks. I mean, when you're stacking up like potentially not great offenses, then I'm not, a huge fan of doing it. I don't mind having both Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, but I'm probably in the same kind of boat where if it's a bad offense that you're stacking up a bunch of players from, I'd probably just, go for a guy in a similar tier, maybe trade Elijah Moore for somebody around that range.
Yep, I agree with that.
Start Garrett Wilson over Pickens. Yeah, I would start Garrett Wilson. LOL. Is Corey your partner in the chat? Nah.
Wait, what?
Corey Van probably is who he's referring to.
Oh.
Fix my lineup this week. QBs. So you're starting Murray, wide receivers AJ Brown and Waddle, running backs James Robinson and Jeff Wilson Jr., tight end Everett, flex Dobbins. On your bench, Drake London has to be in your lineup, so I'm putting Dobbins on the bench for Drake London. I also like Godwin, but you can't really fit him in your lineup here. I actually probably would start Godwin over Drake London this week.
I definitely would go Godwin over London.
I think the Falcons are going to get lit up this week. We take our anger out on the Atlanta Falcons after we lose games. I swear to God, it's uncanny. Every time we lose a bad game to the Saints, it seems like we play the Falcons the next week and we just beat the living shit out of them.
$2 super chat from Alex. Appreciate that. He says drop Singletary for Elliott. No, I would keep Devin Singletary over Ezekiel Elliott.
How is Elliott on the waiver wire? I've never seen Ezekiel Elliott in my years of playing fantasy.
I'm surprised the casuals don't like him.
Never been on a fantasy waiver wire I've ever seen.
Yep. Here you have where we left off.
Yep.
Oh, what we get? What's like? We did get a little super sticker from D-Bell. Appreciate that, bud. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it. We'll get to it for the super chat.
Facts. Yeah, appreciate it. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Also.
Brady. Are you going to St. Louis?
Yeah, we're going to Krabby's actually, but yeah. Get some spin dip probably.
How am I remembering bars in your fucking city?
I mean, they're the same bars that are in your city, are they not?
I guess, yeah, fair.
They're all chains. It's not like they're, local watering holes. Do you think I should flip CH for London? Yes, absolutely. I don't give a shit.
Heartbeat. Dude, I don't care. You could have me.
Yeah, dude. People are so tuned to the sell or to the buy low on Kyle Pitts thing. Just trade Pitts after you make that trade. Honestly.
By the way, it's gonna sound gross, but I mean, I do have Raheem Mostert with heavy expectation in my home league, which means he's probably gonna fall flat on his face.
Oh, great! That's why you have him ranked as RB15.
I would have him that high to begin with because you have to admit his opportunity is really good.
Our Patreon league. I'm not that high on him.
Dude, hey, let's just say when it comes to Raheem Mostert, bro, he's getting the opportunity share. And could you ask for a better matchup game script wise than
dude, it's going to be a great matchup for him, but
he's going to stink somehow.
I don't think that this split that we've seen out of Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds is guaranteed. I think there's a chance that Chase Edmonds
a little bit of a Fugazi factor, eh?
Yeah, I feel like they could just kind of go back and forth.
Fair. I think Raheem Mostert is going to do really good this week, and then he's going to be a nice little sell high.
Could be.
D-Bell, damn it, I forgot the type of message. What does this mean for Marlon Mack?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it means anything for Marlon Mack, but I kind of wish Marlon Mack was still on the Colts just so we could see Marlon Mack get some fantasy usage.
But by the way, Bush, give me a fucking receiver. You need a running back. I got you.
What?
You need a running back in the listener league.
I don't want James Conner, Danny. I know that's exactly who you're going to offer me. I'll give you Allen Robinson for him.
I'm good. Chris Godwin looks nice.
No, I ain't giving. Who do you want? Lockett? I'll give you Lockett.
I was going to ask for Godwin.
Yeah, I ain't giving you Godwin for James Conner, pal.
Hey. Oh, you do have Raheem in this league.
That's the maximum amount of
cash. Did you draft Raheem? Sharp.
Yeah, I did draft Raheem, actually.
W.
Dude, I drafted a hell of a 0 RB core. Or hero, because I had Javonte, but my other picks at running back were Cordero Patterson, Michael Carter, Rashad Penny, and Raheem Mostert. They're pretty good hero RB that I built out.
Me and Fleck have a draft at freaking 8:30 for fantasy hockey.
Yeah, I got one tomorrow for fantasy hockey
Really?
as well.
Why did you
Yeah.
join our league?
Oh, sorry. My buddies invited me and I felt like joining.
Fair.
Who should I start? Josh Jacobs or Damian Harris? Give me
Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs there pretty
Pretty
easily.
easily.
Curtis. Yes,
Kurt
you
Sam.
should. Give me Gabe Davis.
Oh, I thought this was a start sit question. Yeah, give me Gabe Davis long term.
Yeah, I said it before you got to the live stream. I was like, yeah, the Cardinals have a tendency to start slow. They do. Like they never can it looks like they're the worst offense in the league for the first 2 quarters, and then they suddenly become the best offense in the league.
For real. Samuel and Herbert to a Monty
Samuel
owner.
and Herbert to a Monty owner for ARSB.
Yes.
Assuming that's Curtis Samuel,
Amon-Ra.
that's a smash.
Amon-Ra, please.
Yeah.
$4.99 super chat from Yadi Yali says the CD and Swift trade got edited. Would you trade Pearson Waddle for JT? London on my bench for Waddle 4.0. 10 team haul or half PPR. If you have London on the bench, fucking absolutely send him Pearson Waddle for JT and then go win your championship. The fuck?
Sorry, what?
He's got London on his bench. Go do this trade yesterday and go win your championship once JT's back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reading text from these guys. They're waiting for me to pick them up so we can go to Krabby's. Would you trade Pearson Waddle for JT?
Yes. 4-0? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would.
London on the bench? Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Trevor Lawrence or Jared Goff? I'll take Lawrence this week. I think he's in a great spot.
I have Lawrence as like a top 12 quarterback this week,
so I would go Lawrence or some shit. Like I have him super high this week.
Let me see where I have him. I think I have him quarterback 9 or 10. So.
Can you imagine saying that in the summer? If I would have said that sentence, I have Lawrence QB 8 this week.
I have him quarterback 10 right now behind. So Burrow's at 8, Carr's at 9, and then he's at 10. These fucking bots are making me sick.
Should I accept Miles Sanders and Jamar Chase for Gabe Davis, Sutton, and Fournette?
Jamar. Oh no, never mind. I'll give you Gabe Davis.
I wouldn't want to buy Miles Sanders right now. He's coming off of a big game, and I don't think he's going to be repeating that type of performance. If you can limit this trade and just get Jamar Chase for Sutton and Gabe Davis, then I would do that. But I don't want to give up Fournette in this.
My brain heard Jamar Chase and then didn't see the rest. So I'll go with the package there.
He said, should I ask for Josh Jacobs instead of Sanders? Do you do that if that's Jacobs and Jamar Chase?
So Jacobs
definitely better.
Jacobs equals about. Would you say Jacobs equals
Sutton? Is what I would say. And then I would take Chase probably around the range that I take Fournette. And I guess if you need the stud factors in favor of the Chase side. So it's close. I think for Jacobs, I would say that's probably about an even trade. And it's all really about what your team needs at that point.
Yeah, agreed.
Hines over Brees? Absolutely not. No, not a chance. Give me Brees Hall. Yeah. Easily. 16-team PPR. Should I start Hines over one of Elijah Moore or Ayuk? Yeah, I'm cool starting him over both of those guys, to be honest. Other skill players are CMC Cooks. Yeah. I'll take Hines over. Who are you starting between Elijah Moore and Ayuk? I would rather start Moore, I think, over Ayuk.
Moore over Ayuk, Elijah Moore, easily.
Yeah, I think I would start Hines over Ayuk then there. Start Judy tonight or wait and see if Amon-Ra plays? No, I start Judy tonight. If he doesn't, I'll have to start Gibson. Do you wait on Amon-Ra and then just start Gibson, or do you just start Judy? I think I'm just starting Judy. I don't think Amon-Ra is going to play.
Agreed.
Got any trade targets for Dynasty for a late first for rebuilding teams?
Lance.
Glad you mentioned that. That is coming on Saturday. So I'm going to cover 5 trade targets for rebuilding teams, 5 trade targets for contending teams, and a couple guys to sell high in Dynasty on Saturday. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But trade targets for a late first for rebuilding teams. If you can get Kenneth Walker right now for a late first or Jameson Williams for a late first, those are 2 guys that will definitely be in that video.
Yep, agreed.
Jonathan Taylor for Chase and D-Hop. Did I win?
Well,
I don't think so. I think I'd rather Chase and D-Hop.
I would.
That's close though. That's not like a.
If you need a running back, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it as well, but I think I would slightly lean the
Sutton.
receivers. Yeah, give me Courtland, Sutton there, Enrique. Okay, the game looks like it's about to start, so we'll answer 2 more questions here. Believe I already answered that one.
Yep.
Do we start Russ or sit? I would probably sit, depending on what your other options are. Pick 2 to start Melvin, Juju, and London. Give me Melvin and London there.
Yep.
Pittman, Godwin, or Gabe Davis. Give me.
Start Pittman. Duh. I thought you had to sit one.
Melvin or Juju. Give me Melvin. Hines over Dobbins. I would rather say
Dobbins.
personally. Olave or
Olave.
McLaurin. Give me Chris Olave there. Okay, so we're gonna head off. The game's pretty much starting here. I gotta go get some half-priced appetizers while I'm watching the game. But make sure you guys stay tuned for running back starts and sits tomorrow. Danny's got wide receiver starts and sits live right now. If you guys want to check that out during halftime or during the game or whatever. And like I said, I'll bring some dynasty trade targets to the table on Saturday. If you guys didn't get your question answered, we have a Patreon only live stream every Saturday. There's like 10, 15 people in there. So we're able to go in depth on all the questions that you guys have about your teams. It's only $10 a month to be a part of that live stream. And it's cheaper. I mean, you guys are sending $5 super chats. It's only $10 a month to get into 4 live streams for the entire month, where you're guaranteed going to get all your questions answered. So I would say, monetarily, it's definitely a lot smarter to do that. And those are every noon Eastern. Patreon.com/fantasy stock exchange. You also get dynasty rankings, manifesto, rest of season rankings, weekly rankings, all that good stuff over there. Make sure to check that out. But with that being said, peace out, guys. We'll talk to you soon.